What are the opportunities?
Well, I'm feeling things are going well, as they tend to. I think we're approaching a very good time in the country and the world, although at the moment things look terribly grim. It's always this paradox that on the inner level, at the level of people's awareness of each other and people's, sort of blossoming kindness of each other, even hardship in a way helps people in that they become more sympathetic of others' hardships and so on. On that level, I think there's always positive development going on in our modern situation. But on the level of the surface of the sort of crazy people doing crazy things and sort of geopolitical things seeming to go wrong and dangers occurring, it's kind of grim, actually. So there's always this kind of tearing paradox in the middle of life that at the level of human heart to heart of people, I think things do improve. And then these old traditions of grim, conflict keep wasting our money and our time and our energy, And that's the way I'm always caught in that, On the one hand, I feel very good about how things go. On the other hand, I deplore the sad failure of some, actually often leadership people, like failing to catch up, Like this thing in Florida about that guy, Reverend Jones or Pastor Jones, who is going to burn some Qurans. And then, but he's blamed, but he's just a little bit deranged. People are blaming him, and people are calling him up and saying he's going to cost lives of our troops, which of course he is. But the point is he doesn't do it alone. The vulture media is the one. I know we're on the radio, and I love the media too, but I think there's a tendency in the media to just go for ratings, and never mind. So they are the ones who are giving him this huge megaphone, to create distress around the world and to cause terrible reactions in the Muslim communities. If they just, ignored him, and then he could go and burn whatever he wants in his front yard, no one would pay any attention. It would not be an international crisis. And so this kind of thing, of course, we just because we're happy about the transforming of the people on the individual level, doesn't mean we can't speak out about what we see as wrong on the larger level, on the national level, on the public level.
Right, and we were talking a little bit about the law of attraction, and you have a good point that sometimes something negative happens, and then the media and others draw more attention to it, and then that makes it bigger, really.
Yes, like we could be talking ourselves with all of these so-and-so's lists and CNN and NBC. We could be talking about transforming awareness, and instead they're all just jumping all over again and again and again and dropping in that thing. And so naturally, people in foreign countries, Muslims in foreign countries who don't know the American society very well, they assume that all America is behind this, and then it becomes like a real affront to them, and then they have a freak out, It's really unfortunate, because you basically, like mass murderers or weird people who do suicide things, if they didn't get publicity, it would be a lot less of that sort of thing, But they are seeking, their moment of fame, and that's really what's really, really unfortunate, that we don't have some sort of etiquette. I'm not talking about rules or laws. I'm talking about a kind of etiquette in the media that they would see the negative consequences of making it so public, and they would do something. That would be enlightened and transformed of them.
How can we transform our awareness individually and on a more global level?
Well, the way of transforming, I think, is to slow down one's pace in life, which, of course, I'm very guilty of being a little bit too rushed around, too busy. But anyway, one slows one's pace down, and one takes stock of what's around one and counts one's blessings. It's usually we're just rushing for the next thing. We achieve something, and then we immediately put it aside because we rush for another one. And we're sort of trained like that to be competitive and high-performing and achievement-oriented. That's part of our culture. But to transform awareness, the key thing is to ease back from that and look more carefully within ourselves and see where we have something good going, and not just deal in sort of frustration of challenges all the time, and then especially pay attention to our friends, our loved ones, if our loved one, even our pets, and just count that blessing as you stroke the back of a pet, or say something nice to a loved one, or give a hug to a child, or whatever it is that is close to you, or work a little in one's garden, or do something different. And this way, one realizes it isn't so much as sort of creating a new awareness, although there is a learning aspect, reading and learning new things. And as taking stock of the awareness we already have that we normally suppress because we're rushing ahead so hard. I think that's the key. That is a very, very key thing. The counting of the blessings, seeing the glass half full, and then slowing down and stopping the forward rush and taking a look at where one's foot is planted at this moment. That's the way of doing it. Getting things down to here, because in a way, we're always in the present. In one way, you can't find the present. It keeps eluding us. It keeps slipping away. And in another way, we're always in the present. And so, while in the present, to always be focused on something you're going to get in the future or something you're going to do in the future is depriving yourself of the reward of being here. So I think those are very key elements. I think that everyone teaches. It's nothing special, really. Everyone knows that in their bones, but we're just distracted by so many things and we rush after them. And we miss that point,
Right. And you bring up a good point that sometimes it doesn't take these sort of, specific practices like meditation and such, which, certainly are very helpful, but sometimes those moments can happen really in everyday life, like you said, with a loved one or with a pet. We have a couple of callers on the line joining us now.
Okay, is there a caller on the line? Oh, good.
Hi.
Hello, welcome to the program.
Hi.
Hi, can you hear me?
Yes.
Barely, but I can hear.
Oh, nice. I'm in Portland there. I'm going through a very tough situation right now. My husband is in jail. But I wanted to ask about kids. What's the best awareness modeling or the best teachings I can do with my kids? I have a three-year-old daughter. She's almost 3 and a little baby. What's the best modeling I can do?
Well, I think that you sounds like you're focused on it. You're having there are great difficulties on some levels, but you're aware of the beauty and the wonder of your child, and you're extending your love to the child, and hopefully also to the husband, and to whatever it is. You're sort of making the best of the situation, in other words, which is the great art to do, especially when it's such a hard situation. My heart goes out to you, but that's the best thing. And then to sort of hope, if there's anybody who is causing this, if there's some problems that some people who are pursuing, or there's like enemy involved type thing, the thing is not to just get locked into being resentful and angry. Anger is so destructive that to oneself, the person who is angry, is really, really destructive. It's like somebody harms us, and then we are upset by that and we're hurt by it. But then when we sit and be angry and resentful about having been harmed, it's like doubles the hurt. So there's a practice to sort of think of, okay, this has happened. I'm not going to give the enemy the satisfaction of being upset about it on top of having been hurt. I'm just going to nurse my wound and try to make the best of it, try to heal myself and heal those around me. But I'm not going to give the enemy the double satisfaction of having hurt me once, and then I hurt myself twice by being angry. I think that's a very important thing. Bitter and resentful at the world doesn't help.
Yes, I really understand. Thank you.
It sounds to me, by the quiet tone of your voice and peaceful aspect of you, that you are already practicing these things. So I congratulate you.
Thank you. I really appreciate that.
Thank you for calling in.
Okay.
And we have another caller on the line.
Okay.
What are the opportunities?
I'm